insulin injection errors are more common than you may think. In fact, in a survey, it was found that 76% of patients apply too much injection force, which can increase the risk of intramuscular injection. VD Nano 2nd Gen pen needles have a unique contoured base that corrects for different injection forces to help deliver insulin where it needs to go. Experience the difference of a contoured needle base. Consider BD Nano 2nd Gen pen needles.
Hello, good afternoon. My name is Nigel Maynard, Editor-in-Chief of Drugstore News, and welcome back to our ongoing series where we talk to some of the thought leaders in retail pharmacy. Today, we're talking vaccines and immunization, and we're talking with Lisa Smith, the Senior Director of Clinical Strategy and Operations Support at Walmart. Lisa, how are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I am well. I think this is a very appropriate time to do this because fall is around the corner and flu season is around the corner. And, we were thinking that COVID was over, but now that things are trending back up, and we saw from the Southern Hemisphere that it appears that we'll have a strong flu season as well. So what are the chief misconceptions about immunizations among the public, and how can Walmart pharmacists correct vaccine misinformation?
Yeah, that's a great question. Our pharmacists continue to be trusted healthcare providers in their community. At Walmart, we have a Walmart within 10 miles of 90% of Americans. So our pharmacists are embedded in communities across the country, and they really serve as those trusted advisors. So I think first and foremost, customers don't always know what vaccines are recommended for them. So I think the first thing that our pharmacists can always do is provide a strong recommendation based on age or chronic health conditions that can help patients know really which vaccines they should be getting. And then if customers do have concerns about safety or side effects, our pharmacists stand ready to answer those questions. And I think you're absolutely right. We're heading into a fall. Last year, we had what they called the triple demic with flu, RSV, COVID, all hitting at the same time. I think our pharmacists are excited to have so many opportunities to protect patients this fall. We have the new to market RSV vaccine for those patients who are 60 and over, flu vaccines, new COVID vaccines coming for the latest variant, as well as just regular immunizations like pneumococcal and shingles, and some of the childhood vaccines that kids might have missed during the pandemic. I think our pharmacists stand ready to serve those patients across the country.
Yeah. So my next question has two parts. What new services are available at Walmart pharmacies in the area of prevention, testing, and vaccines for children and adults? And what efforts does Walmart have in place to facilitate and help stop disease spread?
Yeah, that's a great question. So I think when it comes to prevention, it's really a lot of what we mentioned before. Getting those patients vaccinated before they're exposed is so important, whether that be a child for regular childhood vaccinations or all of those vaccines we talked about that are going to be so important this fall. So I think the number one thing we can do for prevention is just to get patients protected before they're exposed. But we're really excited about some new services we have to offer communities this fall, which is really our testing and treatment services. We continue to see the scope of practice for pharmacists expand, and our pharmacists are excited to serve their communities in new and unique ways this season. So we've launched in 13 states a process where patients can come in and be tested for flu, strep, or COVID. And then if they're positive and clinically appropriate, our pharmacists can actually issue a treatment that's appropriate for that condition right there the same day. So really a one-stop shop. And we feel really excited that we can offer this by appointment and walk-in, making it extremely convenient for patients to access these services.
Mm-hmm. Now, one of the things that appeared time and time again during the pandemic was the idea of collaboration and partnership. Does Walmart collaborate with outside organizations to administer vaccines to adults and to children?
Yes, absolutely. I think we saw during COVID more than ever that community-based partnerships are so important. We have various ways that we interact with the community. We have our wellness events that are ongoing throughout the year, but we also offer employer vaccination services inside our stores and in some cases going on site. We participate in community vaccine events, so our pharmacists are very ingrained in the community, whether it just be providing vaccine information or actually offering community vaccine events in our stores.
Now, you talked earlier about getting the information out about types of vaccines that are available. What are some of the technologies and innovative approaches a pharmacy can use to educate patients about vaccines and increase vaccination rates and identify patients that are due for vaccination?
Yeah, it's a great question. I think we saw technology play a role over the pandemic as well, whether it be online scheduling capabilities or communicating with patients in the way they want to be communicated with. That may be a text message to some, letting them know that it's flu season. You know, please schedule your flu vaccine or other vaccines that they might be eligible for via text. It's also those in-person conversations when they're filling other prescriptions, letting them know here's the vaccines you might be eligible for. We try and arm our pharmacists with the most up-to-date information using bidirectional feeds from the state immunization registries, so our pharmacists can actually proactively identify immunization gaps in our patients, so making sure they have the best real-time information available about the specific patient they're serving, so we can provide those recommendations on an individual basis.
Okay. Final question for you. Does Walmart pharmacists anticipate the season would be even more active than last year?
That's a great question. I think you mentioned the Southern Hemisphere. If I had the crystal ball on the season, I think I probably wouldn't be here. Maybe I'd be doing something else if I had the perfect answer for that. But I think we're absolutely prepared should there be a challenging season. And we are talking to our pharmacist about prevention and making sure, like I said, that we're preventing those diseases hopefully before that first exposure. So when we get the vaccines in the stores, we're making sure that those recommendations are happening. Certainly what we saw in the Southern Hemisphere indicates that we may have another tough respiratory season this year. We also saw the spike of COVID that we're currently going through now. So I think signs point to that. We certainly hope that's not the case, but our pharmacists stand ready both in prevention and then if necessary, offering treatments as well.
Okay. Lisa Smith, thank you very much for talking to us. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
All right.